Hello, everybody. I'm here with Katie Whitehouse today. Suddenly cannot... Yeah, there you are. Hi. We're running a workshop a little later on combining poetry and musicality. So if you are interested in that, then please do come along to that. But for now, you have me for an hour. So it's so wonderful to be here. Hawkwood is very amazing and unique and very different to Birmingham, which is where I come from. So I'm going to start off with a poem that combines poetry and beatbox. I learned how to beatbox over the pandemic. It was fantastic because you have no one around to judge you. If you suck, and you always suck when you're first learning how to beatbox, okay? That's what you're doing as you're going down the street, practicing your kick drum to yourself. But then when lockdown happens, you can just be doing the dishes alone, because I lived alone during lockdown, and just do the dishes, practice, no one around to judge you. You're going... And then you have to wash the dishes again, because you spat all over them. Welcome. There's some seats here. There's one with a cake on it. I think that will be worth your while. Yeah, there's a couple of seats over there. Thank you so much for being here today. It's so wonderful with such beautiful food and views outside that you're trapping yourself in here to listen to poetry. So I'm going to start off first with a beatbox poem. I've been performing for many years now. Yeah, I always still get nervous. Does anyone else get nervous when they have to stand in front of some sort of crowd? Yes, you relate. Oh, everyone's like, ugh. There was quite a musical chorus of, So that's what this poem is about. That kind of moment when your heart is pumping so fast and you hate your life choices. This is for the poets. Or anyone who's had to stand up and speak for the first time, and then every time after that. You know what happens. The way our pulse is booming too loud, and the panic is pounding our head, and the blood is blushing our face, and our body has bottled to still, and how our being is blocked by our fear, and they both just blend into one. And the pumping buries our voice. Heartbeat just blares over all. It's a psh, psh. It's a psh, psh. It's a pistol backfired, bashed up button, bursting pipe, a broken buzzer, blood cells bounce from bolster, pulse and push the bass like past the parcel, busy body, brains are buster, belly boiling black and blue, bolting back the beater, blockers blitzing blues till blown apart. We people, we problems, we babble like babies till purple, then play back the blabber, then blubber at bumbles, we buzz by them bubble, then bubble like paper, we bobbers the blood pressure, pushing sick, being up, 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 pushed into keeping our silence by our own bodies. Bounds back by the soundtrack of like, what are we more of, you know? Our thoughts or our awkwardness? Why talk when we're so mortified, when all we get is cortisol and shorter lives? So hard to tell where your ambition starts, when there's no end to that ammunition heart of buts. We can be. Like we can be. Like we can be them both, though. Right? Yeah? Like we can be the panic and be the passion. Yeah? We can bring our baggage and bring our best still. Yeah? We can be the broken, then be the breakthrough. Be the bullied, then bite the bullet. Embrace the beat, play the beat. Be the beaten, then be the beat. Beat the bar, then be the bar. Breathe the battlefield, breathe in broader. We big bangs, we bagpipes, we boomboxes, blueprints, we pupils of purpose, we back belts in backbone, be berserk, be bloody, bombard, perplex, be bold, be bare, be bad, be boss, be proof, be prone, be proud, be pro, be beast, be boast, be pushed, be pushed, be better, 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 be better. Be, 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 be poet. Thank you. Thank you. So that everything in that poem, I mean it, just because if you saw me as a kid, you'd say, okay, there's no way that kid is going to grow up to do anything remotely related to public speaking. I stammered a lot when being asked to read stuff out loud. Do you know that those times when you have to, do you remember school, right? And you have like your science textbook or you have your English book and you go and read round one paragraph at a time and one person has to read the next paragraph and the next paragraph. That absolutely terrified me and my heart would literally leap out of my chest. I would mumble over my words very, very badly, and I would also mumble over my words in just normal daily life, speaking to people outside of my friendship group, speaking to my teacher, speaking to my mum. They told me to stop mumbling, to speak up louder. So speaking was never my strength. So it's hilarious that I'm doing this now. I was never picked to read aloud in assemblies or to be, you know, that one person who gets the principal part in all the school productions. That wasn't me. But I think there are a few reasons why, and a lot of them is because I felt a little bit different. When I moved to Birmingham, I didn't move far. I just moved from Nottingham. However, you know, I already felt a bit of a strange difference. I was different because I'm mixed raced, and people could see that, but they couldn't put their finger on it. Also, I didn't realize at the time, but I was exhibiting behaviors that seemed very strange, which were strange to other people, but I didn't know that it was basically washing my hands, going away, having to wash my hands a third time, flicking the lights a lot of times, otherwise my family would die, sort of deal. Now, I have the letters to know that that's OCD. Now I have OCD as letters in my lexicon. Did not have that back in the day. I also needed others. Again, I letters that I didn't have. All it was is just a little thing in my head of like ADHD. Okay, great. Didn't have those letters either. ADHD were letters that I needed. Autism as well. These are only things that professionals have helped me understand about myself about less than a year ago. And when you don't have these letters, to describe yourself, you do just think that you're weird and you're more likely just to shut up instead. Does anyone relate a bit to that? Yeah. And when we're denied language to describe ourselves, we do lack our confidence a little bit. So I find it really interesting that it's not really interesting, it's actually quite predictable that I'd grow up to be obsessed with language and what we do with it. Has anyone been to Birmingham? Have you been to Broad Street? Oh, I'm so sorry. So I would like to perform kind of a poem song, dancing to music you hate. Nicely lined up, if that's all right. Thank you. And this one's set on Broad Street. For those who don't know, Broad Street is the clubbing quarter. There we go. Thank you. As we are. This dance floor is packed so tightly that your friends each look like sheets of a book burst open in front of you. Everyone looks beautiful here, except for Katie. Katie's face is orange. I mean, that's because of the spotlight filter shining on her. But this is a night out, so Katie's face is probably orange anyway. You're waiting for the next track. All of you doing that self-conscious hobbledy-hop, that awkward bit in between as the DJ takes his time with the mix. But then it drops, and you cannot express in human words just how much you do not care about this song. It's like dancing to music you hate. It's like dancing to music you hate. But your mates, they crumple. Spines wafer, eyeballs white space on paper, and you are in the middle, trying to finger this refrain. Feels like nothing, which is funny because your boyfriend's tongue tastes exactly the same. It's like dancing to music you hate. It's like dancing to music you hate. To be, it's like dancing to music you hate. It's like dancing to music you hate. It is like dancing to music you hate. Pretending to be, it's like dancing to music you hate. It's like dancing to music you hate. It is like dancing to music you hate. Lemonade slants your brain like a B flat, but you still never think quite as fast as when you're in a club. Have you noticed that? And tomorrow, you will stare at the gloss of men's torsos in magazines to work out what is attractive about them. But tonight, it's time to move. And your friends each look like sheets of a book burst open in front of you, so maybe you can read their rhythms too. So come on, play another song. Fold your joints like origami because you're told you look so good on paper. Pretending to be straight is like dancing to music you hate. It's like dancing to music you hate. It is like dancing to music you hate. Pretending to be straight, it's like dancing to music you hate. It's like dancing to music you hate. It is like dancing to music you hate. Very much. So as you can tell, also LGBTQ were also letters I needed that I didn't have growing up. So again, if you don't have the letters, how do you know? What do you do? So it's interesting. So then what happened is that I grew up a little bit. I left Birmingham, went to university in Exeter. The greenest I had ever been, like in a place, coming from Birmingham and Nottingham. And there I started actually to perform poetry. And that changed everything, because all the things that you think that you have to keep hidden, right? Like your OCD, for example, like your sexuality, all of that jazz. If you start writing about these things, like, funnily enough, it's the stuff that people hide are the stuff that's the most interesting to write, and there's the stuff that people resonate with most. So that poem specifically about feeling so very anxious, speaking out loud, people resonated that, and I wrote this poem about OCD, and people resonated with it. A few years ago, the National Literacy Trust commissioned me to write a poem about the pandemic, and I wrote a poem about the pandemic and filmed it on a roller coaster. And I was very honest in that poem about my OCD. And when we put it on Twitter, which is what I will forever call it, it went viral. And then PBS in America picked it up. So then the whole of America knows that I have OCD, which is fantastic. And this poem that you've heard just now, I was very lucky that that was adapted for orchestra by Jules Buckley. And I got to perform it with the orchestra, and that was televised on BBC4. So I went from, when I was 17 years old, coming home from the club and feeling a little bit gutted, because gently in the back of my head I thought, the stigma's too great. I don't want people whispering behind my back the way that they had in school. So I'm going to just have boyfriends for my whole life. And will never actually fall in love, truly. Because if I were to fall in love, it would be with a girl. But I will not do that, because the stigma is just too strong. So I was looking at a life of just never falling in love. So you then fast forward 10 years, and then it's being broadcast across BBC. So that didn't work. But I'm very happy about that. One thing that I learned very much about doing poetry. Who does poetry here in this room? Who writes poetry? You are the best people. Who thinks about writing poetry but doesn't really write poetry or share it? I see like the hands. When the hands went up that time, they were like here. They're like here. Yeah. No, I get that. Big time. And this is the thing that I noticed, that the things that make you feel different, thank you so much, the things that make you feel different, things that make you feel out of place are actually the things that you need to write about the most, because people need to hear it. So I wrote this next poem. I wasn't going to perform this poem today, but you guys are wonderful, and I think you'll be receptive to it, hopefully. If you're not, then I blame only myself. So raise your hand if you sometimes feel uncomfortable talking about sex. Yeah? I'm glad we got that out the way. If you carry that awkwardness around like a bad habit, drop it. Show me both your palms if you remember your first kiss. And you were awful. Yeah, weren't sure what to do with these, were you? If you've watched an explicit love scene with a parent and now you don't talk about it, show me your teeth. If you've ever got period blood on your clothes and it showed, curl your toes. If you've had more wet dreams than you care to reveal, scratch your nose nonchalantly, as if you did that unconsciously too. If one Christmas you were basting the turkey when you realized, this is the nakedest thing I've handled all year, blink. If someone has said to you in bed, I appreciate the gesture though, hang your head. If you're single and you freaking despise Valentine's Day, cross your arms. If you have a partner and you freaking despise Valentine's Day, cross your arms. Then hug yourself. Hate and love can look the same sometimes. If you don't get the hype about love yet, shrug. If you do get the hype about love, then shrug. If you don't understand why people won't leave partners that hit them, well then that's easy. Take off your hand and give it to me. If you think homosexuality is an illusion, then make me disappear. If you're still working out how to be happy on your own, touch someone on the shoulder, even if that someone is yourself. If you know someone who was forced and they didn't know what to call it, breathe deep. If you've realized that transphobia is still accepted bigotry, sit up in your seat. If you've held a pregnancy test in your hand, clench it. If you've waited more than an hour at the sexual health clinic, bang your head a little bit. Nod it if there is something that you have not told your family, and close your eyes if you worry sometimes about how we define masculinity. If you only learnt what sexual consent was in your late teens, then grip your knees. And if you've ever felt pressured, then don't do anything for me. If there are things you wished you talked about more, look at your hand. If you can find a way to start the conversation, raise it. Thank you very much. So I feel very, very fortunate because writing and the poetry community, wherever you go, in the country and the world, is supportive, wonderful. You can very much be yourself. So that's where I found myself. And when you're able to perform poetry, reading poetry out loud, even if you suck at reading out loud and speaking at the beginning, which is exactly what it was for me, the more you go, the more actually you realize I can be myself here, and the easier it is to perform poems, the easier it is to speak. When I first performed poetry, I kid you not, my piece of paper was like, the second time it was a little less shaky, and then the fifth time it shook a little less, and then the 17th time I didn't need the paper at all. And now this is how I make my living, which is wonderful. So I travel the UK and the world performing poetry, running workshops, and writing commissions. And one of the commissions that I wrote is actually has very much to do with why I'm here in Hawkwood. So there's an amazing collective called the Hot Poets. And they are a collective of poets who are writing and spreading really important, messages and optimism about climate action. And we really, really, really need this right now. So I got to be here with amazing poets in this very room, and we created poetry for children. we created a book out of it called Wander, Thunder, Blunder. It's fantastic. And for National Poetry Day in October, we're going to be taking over almost all, a lot of schools in the UK who are going to be happily learning about this. So I thought I'd share the poem that I came up with today. It was wonderful because we not only had amazing poets, we had Michael Rosen in the room here as well, who was teaching us how to write for children. So I thought I'd... are you okay with me reading a children's poem? Yeah. Yes. It does, because it's a children's poem, it requires your cooperation, if that's okay. So I worked with the Met Office, who predict a lot of things with climate, and are able to sort of advocate to policymakers to do something about the climate, because they know what direction it's going to go in. Now, my confession is that I look at this and I think, wow, these guys are basically the superheroes of today's world, like the real-life superheroes, because they are saving our planet, saving people around the world, saving animals around the world. They are superheroes. Now, I wanted to be a superhero when I was younger. I wanted to be a ninja. I even like did karate classes and stuff like that. And meeting the Met Office climate scientists, they are real-life superheroes. So I wrote a poem called Superheroes Eat Cake, because not only are they superheroes, they also enjoy chocolate cake and all sorts of stuff. So I wrote about 3 of them, basically. We have Harry, Becky, and Aisha. So when I'm going to begin every verse by saying, I want to be a superhero. And can we all say that at the same time and pump our fists like we are about to pop into the sky like Superman? We all say together, because, this is a children's poem, so we have to, but we do it better than children, don't we? Yeah. So if we all say, I want to be a superhero, on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, I want to be a superhero. Oh my gosh, guys, you are fantastic. We should have a school for adults. So this is Superheroes Eat Cake. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. I want to be a superhero, but I can't fly. Well, nor can Harry, and he saves lives. Barn owls made homeless as temperatures climb. Villages flooded as sea levels rise. Harry is gifted, 'cause he can predict it before they meet disastrous fates. But his kryptonite is lack of pie. So after that, he must go home and bake. 1, 2, 3. I want to be a superhero, though I don't have a mask. But Becky saves the world in her jeans and a beanie hat. She can see the cyclones of the future with her brain and a supercomputer, but she still can't predict if Southampton are going to win the match. Finally, I want to be a superhero. Spiders scare me, but that's okay. Aisha does a scary thing every single day. She speaks true facts to the world as cameras flash in her face. She speaks up bravely for those who need safety from the deadliest heat waves. But she's frightened by mushrooms when she sees them on her plate. And I can battle hurricanes, and I can eat cake, I can bake, I can paint, and I can save the planet too. Knowledge is the superpower. That's what it takes. So I can be a superhero, and so can you. Oh, right on cue. Well done, thank you. Fantastic. And I want to also perform, because we are at Hawkwood, because Hawkwood is amazing, I also want to perform a poem that's, again, another Hot Poets poem. Does anybody know the amazing Ford Hall Organic Farm? Yes! You know it, but not everyone does, but people need to know. So I was commissioned by the Gaia Foundation and Hot Poets to write a poem all about this incredible farm. So this farm is a family farm. It's a galvanizing story of this older farmer who was under threat of eviction, but he was farming in ways that no one else was farming, organically, super organic, super good for the environment. But then he died. And he left 2 siblings, 17 and 19, or I think it was 19 and 21. And they were easy prey for Muller yogurt to come in, kick them off, and just make it another chain sort of farm. But they said, no, we are not going to do that. We are going to get land. We're going to get collective ownership of this land. It had never been done before. Never been done before. So they kind of did a lot of gaining momentum, coming together to save this family farm, to keep it regenerative. They were told that they could not do it. This, for me, is an amazing story. I was happy to write about it. It's the idea, is that story of one by one power, building momentum, strength in numbers, until finally they became the first community-owned farm. And this genuinely happened. They're still happening today. They're still going strong today. And they have 80,000 landlords around the world who bought shares in order to keep it not, private, and all these giants. So if we're feeling hopeless right now in the face of giant corporations, this is a poem for that. Now, because this is about a poem about starting by 1 and then going to 2 and then 3 and 4 and multiplying and multiplying and multiplying, I thought I'd give myself a challenge. I have to start each line with 1 syllable or 1 beat. And then after a while, it becomes 2 beats. And then it becomes 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 beats per line. And then we go back down eventually to 1. Do you want to see how that turned out? Okay, here we go. I'm going to take a quick swig of water. Because once I start, I won't stop. I'm going to make sure I have all of the poem. Otherwise, I will stop. 1. Starts with just 1. Starts with Arthur, solo farmer, working, trying, doing, tiring, battling, private, landlord, siloed. Just 1. Just 1. Farm is just 1. Outlier. Outside. One of its kind. Children inherit. Brother and sister. Practically teenagers. Up for eviction. 18-month deadline to save it from giants. It's David, Goliath, the farm, and the privates. £800,000. They need to raise it now, keep it organic and keep it a family impossible. It can't be done. Naive idea. They're way too young, but their greenness is momentum. And the hope grows exponential. So open the gate. BBC News, Radio 4, Telegraph 2, spreading the word, £50 shares, buying the land, keeping it fair. One by one they come, from just down the road, and then all at once, from around the globe, community owned, no longer alone, 100-year lease, the freedom to breathe, 8,000 landlords, 8,000 saviors, average Joes, 8,000 Davids, all kinds of people with all kinds of reasons, diverse as the the grass of the farm and its species, pooling together and growing together and working together and voting together and seeking the measures to free it from tethers of greedy developers. Keep it forever. The key is collective to keep it effective. Diversity strengthens when we are connected, because we all give grounds for community, so the youth work can nourish the teens, and the teens can breathe the country air, and in turn they plant the greens, and the leaves can feed the worms who work to turn the dirt to soil, and the soil supports the fields, which in turn will feed the sheep, a symbiotic give and take that feeds the land and we, and the livestock will self-medicate on the variance of plants, and the humans can self-medicate on the goodness of the land, and the cattle graze with forage farming, which means that they run free all year round, health straight from the ground, fertilizer free. A diversity of herbs is exactly what that needs, and a diversity of persons is how that comes to be. The volunteers and the care farm and the free trails and the cattle and the hazel and the clover and the deep roots and the shallow, wealth in its mixture, health in its richness. Question the structures, lean into difference, dig in your heels, trust in your roots, join in the movement, pull on your boots, less landlords, more land loyal, be lifelong land leaders, land lenders, land hearers, land learners, land easers. They'll call us naive still, but one small idea will breed and increase, and can pick up its steam from just one. It starts with just one. Thank you. We're going to get a bit more rhythmic again. So can you help me with a bit of rhythm? I'm just going to beatbox a small beat, and you're going to clap it back to me. So we have... Very good. Fantastic, nice one. Okay, so upcoming is another beatbox poem. So this one is, again, this idea of restricted speech. Those times when maybe we are around a board meeting and we are restricting our speech. Maybe we are around a dinner table and restricting our speech. Can we kind of think of a time like that? And when we are restricting our speech, I thought it would be interesting to restrict the speech in this poem. So what I decided to do is I constrained myself to 3 letters per line. And those letters have to be T, K, and P. So every single line must have the letters or the sounds T, K, and P. Should we see how I did? Talking back, talking back, talking back takes a bit. Talking's brave, talking's bold, too complex to compete, to complete a complaint. Diction's boxed, tight, compact, talkability's compressed. Take a breath to compose, to compute. Take a beat Now talk back. Take a punt and talk back. Talk, but they take it bad. They take it bad. I take blame, take a bash, take a blow, tanking brain, tricky boss, ticking bomb, tick boom, tick a boot, I can't breathe. Take it back. Take it back. Take it back. To comply, take it back. Take it back. Take it back, 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 take it back. Thank you. I'm going to take us back to Birmingham now. I'm very proud of Birmingham as a place. It gets a bad rap, right? All we hear about it is bin strikes. However, I'm going to tell you why I'm so proud of it as a city and a place that I get to grow up. And especially with the local elections coming up, it's the Thursday. They came up fast. And I wonder if it's in everyone's consciousness right now. So, you might remember a couple of years ago, the riots that swept the UK. And a lot of black and brown people, I think, they didn't feel very safe because of these riots that were kind of sweeping the UK. And at the time, my partner, she lives in Estonia, and she's seeing all this stuff on the news, and she's calling me and saying, Jazz, please be careful. This looks terrifying. I said, babe, don't worry. I live in Birmingham. We're going to be okay. Birmingham is beautifully intersectional. There's so much mixture, and we are living proof that that mixture and that intersectionality works. So, you know, I will create Filipino chicken adobo, because that's my heritage, halal chicken adobo for my gay Muslim friends, because that's life in Birmingham. And at the same time that year, so I was Birmingham Poet Laureate at the time, and I was commissioned by Birmingham City Council's Public Health Department to write a poem all about the health report that showed that Birmingham has become the first super diverse city in the UK, which for me is beautiful and wonderful. And for me, Birmingham is this place that is a world leader. We have a chance of being a world leader to show that all types of people can live side by side, because it's exactly what we do. So I wrote this poem, but I was having trouble writing the poem at the time because I didn't really know how to go about it. But then a protest was happening, or at least a riot was happening, was scheduled to be happening round the corner from where I live in the Jewellery Quarter in Birmingham. They wanted to smash up a refugee and migrant centre, which is literally right next to the Tesco where I get all of my healthy, nutritious food. And I decided to go to the counter-protest to protect this space. And then when I got back that night, the poem kind of just flowed out. And this is the result. Welcome to the intersection. Railroads from round the world collide here. Like train tracks, this city stitches lineages to run side by side here. The planet's languages lilt into the city. They stream into one seam, fluid as the canals that flow through Yardley to Winson Green, a spaghetti explosion of legacy, like how the M6 meets the Aston Expressway. Yes, the roads here look messy, but they are messy in the best way. Because here we are, in the middle of it all. We are Birmingham's humans. And as we stand in this swirl of intersection, we stand on the curb of the future. We lace all our bloodlines through our boots, pull them close, then step through. We are richness in motion. We are super diverse. Watch how we move. We weave through the concrete of these new streets, between the edges of our intersections. We thread through the hard lines of history and pull them tighter so that they strengthen. But we navigate an uneven playing field. Not all lanes are maintained the same. Our postcode, our housing, our race, our potholes, to the health of our days. The length of our life is still decided on whether we're gay or trans or have migrant status. It's hard not to fall through the cracks when the pavement is broken in places. Uneven systems mean uneven divisions. Fragmented provision means fragmented living, and we might trip up on the belief that we live in competition, but it isn't our differences that's the issue, just the difference in provision. We are a city of 1,000 shades, and sure, that means we have 1,000 needs, but so does the world. And as it watches on, this is our chance to lead. Because our needs do not make us weak. In fact, they are the strength of us. Our diversity means that all the world's people can each see themselves in us. We stand on the curb of the future. And yes, the traffic will always feel fast when the only constant is change. But imagine if we learn to adapt to the intricacy of our citizens, where every one of us is valid. We are kinder, more open, better listeners for being Brummies, so we can make it happen. We can show them how it's done right and pave the way ahead. We can soar ahead of the curve, and the curve can be Birmingham-led. Yes, if we lean into our mixture with full speed in our stride, we'll raise the standards higher, and we won't just run, we'll fly. We are the intersection. We are the future made plain, and we will show the world we are Birmingham. So watch how we move with the change. Thank you. I think I want to do a bit of a fun one for you. This one's set in a library. We like poetry here, so we're kind of nerds, literature nerds. Are we right? Is that right? Yes. Okay. So perhaps I can perform this poem about a library. It's about a battle. Who prefers poetry to novels here? Yes, a few people. Who prefers novels to poetry here? Hey, it's okay. It's a safe space. Well, this poem is like a war, if you like. This poem tells a war in a school library between poem readers, and prose readers. Okay. I'm going to sneak in like a ninja famous authors, famous book titles, famous quotes from literature. And if you recognize one, you have to say, "Hey!" like that. Okay? Let's test this out. Benjamin Zephaniah. Hey! Excellent. I think I need it a little bit louder, though. How about Mallory Blackman? Hey. Okay. Oh, we don't like Mallory Blackman. Okay. The poetry teacher is hiding behind the picture your books in the junior library from the rest of the English department. You see, he and them have a disagreement. They like novels. That means prose. They prefer to see words splattered flat into paragraphs and chapters, claim as much space on the page as they can, have no notion of poetry's honing and the slickness of rhythm and slimness of form and line breaks, for God's sake. Think of the children. Shouldn't they be taking lessons in those? The students for now are stacked away in classrooms, giving our teachers free rein. But just when our poet thinks he's safe, that posse of prose lovers rise from behind a pile of books. They've been waiting for him this whole time, and in his surprise, he knocks over a whole row of Elmer's adventures. The elephant in the room explodes into multicolour, and the others take this as the ultimate insult. So with a big pull, they let a whole wall of Tolkien almost fall on him. He jumps over into the poetry section, putting a wooden partition between he and them to preserve his shelf life, as a series of unfortunate events try to bowl him over, thrown by those prose lovers as vicious as cricket, just with soft-back snickets. Snickets! Yes, but when life gives you lemonies, you throw poetry right back. He searches the stacks full of his favourite ammunition. It's time to teach them with some harder-hitting composition. So both poets and prosers wage bench warfare, and soon they've made a horrible history of the non-fiction section. But those prose readers know how to scan facts quickly, so they tear apart Terry Deary for some vital information on how to make a Roman formation, and then they tortoise shell across the room. So soon Benjamin Zephaniah gets deflected by the famous 5. Northern Lights, general top 10 bestsellers. All seems lost until Lucy the Temp enters. She's a stanza fan, has come to join our poet's side. She sets up so that he can spike Milligan onto the opposition. The ranks break and the poets high five, but then the librarian enters. Shh. Her face turns to debris at the scene, because the library now looks like the inside of a shredder. A carpet of children's literal confetti, all shuffled, all overlapped. What a beautiful pussy you are, says Voldemort to the Cat in the Hat. And Mallory Blackman now finds herself resting in the political non-fiction. Now there's a thought. So it's the teachers, bookmarked, dog-eared, paper cut, who go home when the bell rings. And it's the students who come in to stand in this 3-dimensional book that shouts out from the ground a different kind of volume. And the pieces steam. So they get on hands and knees in the space now devoid of categories. They read for themselves. The teachers, it seems, have done their jobs, because these students, by turning over a few old leaves, they form new stories, piece by piece. Thank you. We line up gender euphoria, please. The last one. Is that all right? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This next one will be my last one. It is it's the final one from my show, which is a poetry, beatbox, and Celtic dubstep show. And thank you, Hawkwood. It's such a beautiful and special place, Hawkwood. So thank you very much for letting me just talk at you for an hour. And myself and Katie Whitehouse, please give a wave. The best fedora in the building. We're doing a workshop on poetry, blending musicality with poetry at 2:45, I believe. So please do come along to that, and please do keep in touch as well. My name is at Jasmine Gardosi on Instagram if you'd like to follow me or just make friends in person, but maybe not follow me in person. That would be weird. Thank you very much, everybody. Oh. That's very nice. That's very nice. Very nice. Have you ever felt the beat of your own drum, but didn't let yourself dance to it? Just sat there, arms tight against side, immobile, to not give yourself away. Ever felt that? Doesn't it suck to deny something that swells inside you? Is it just a trans thing? Or does who you are also hit the ceiling and walls of what you're expected to be? Is it just me and my genderqueer ass? Or have you ever felt like you're failing some aspect of man or of woman? What if you don't have to be gender questioning in order to question gender? What if you don't have to be transitioning in order to transcend into more than what they wanted of you? What if you are not a waste of a woman? What if you are man enough? What if your softness is not a disappointment? What if your sensitivity is not an exception to the rule? What if your dress sense is not absurd? What if your desires are not an anomaly? What if there are as many ways of being a woman as there are women? What if there are as many ways of being a man as there are men? What if you are everything you are supposed to be? What if there are as many genders in this room as there are people? What if there are as many genders in this world as there are people? What if we're all transitioning into a wholer understanding of ourselves? What if we're all just a little bit on the way back to ourselves? You know? Trans or not? Questioning or not? I wish you gender euphoria. And I wish you gender euphoria. I wish you gender euphoria. I wish you purpose. I wish you belonging. I wish you brightness. I wish you excitement. You too deserve to recognize the parts you still perform and the parts that make you tired and the parts that you take pride in, the parts that make you walk upright, chest out, in a room full of strangers who don't know who you are, who don't need to. I wish you the permission to explore, to trust yourself, to look your shame in the face and say, I see you for what you are, and I wish you too to see yourself for what you are, because you too deserve to feel your body as the home that it is. I wish you gender euphoria. And I wish you gender euphoria. And I wish you gender euphoria. I wish you that moment and the joy of the motion after, as the penny on who you are drops and you can just follow where it rolls. Thank you so very much. I've been Jasmine Gardosi and you're amazing.